What's up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Look, man, I got to get right into this because I wanted to do. I posted a video about this versus battle when it was on the way. Now I wanted to do a recap after watching it last night, and I wanted to make sure before I did it that I was thorough in my assessment of it because you're talking about two of the greatest rappers of all time and two of my personal favorite two guys that I always mention as being in my top five, and that's KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane. And I have to say, man, that they brought it last night. You know, I had chills when it first came on because you got to look at it from somebody of my perspective that grew up in that era. I grew up in that era when those guys were popping and they were the hottest things in the game, and they are greatly responsible for the birth of many of the current rapper styles that are lyricists today. A lot of those great artists, including myself, have been greatly influenced by Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Rakim, Tila Rock, Kumo D, and others who were master lyricists. So it was just great to see those guys do this battle and this celebration of the art form, the celebration of hip hop. Let me give my assessment. I'm gonna let y'all know what I did. What I did was from the beginning when I started watching it, because I was hyped up. I was like a youngster again. I scored this thing like you would score a boxing match. I scored it round for round. And I'm not going to tell you who I gave the most rounds to. I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep this thing as just a celebration of hip hop and the culture. But I did give one person the edge. But it wasn't by much. It was by the half of my chinny chin chin. But I scored it like a boxing match. And when each one of them went, that was a round. And then I would score it based on their round. And a few of the rounds I had even. And some of the rounds where there were, I guess we say, guest appearances, I didn't touch those rounds. The only round that I scored where there was guest appearances is when Big Daddy Kane did the symphony, because I think that the symphony is just, it's a hip hop classic, so it has to be categorized, even though there were guest features on it. Was disappointed to see that Cool G Rap didn't come out when they did the symphony, but I heard KRS-One said that they invited him, but he declined for whatever reason. A few little points that I looked at that if I had to critique the battle, and from both sides, and in no way, shape, or form am I trying to say anything disrespectful about Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One. Because, like I say, they are the fathers of my lyricism. They gave me the hope, gave me the imagination. But as far as me watching the battle as a fan, I'm gonna tell you a few things that I saw where both guys exhibited some strong points, and both guys, in my opinion, exhibited points that could have been better. Um, Kane seemingly, I don't know if this was his game plan, but he came out kind of slow. It's like he was kind of holding back his big punches. He was kind of pacing himself. KRS-One came right out the gate dropping bombs. He came right out the gate dropping heavy songs, or some of the heavier songs, because all these guys' songs are heavy. And so a lot of those early rounds I gave to KRS-One. But Kane started to come on. He started to come on strong. And when Young Gifted and Black came on, it's like, he turned it up. He turned it up a notch. Now, one thing I wish Big Daddy Kane would have done more of, that KRS did a lot of, and that is when KRS was performing his songs, and Kid Capri was his DJ, they would drop the beat frequently, and you could hear the crowd finishing the line for KRS-One, because both of these guys' songs are so well known that the whole crowd was singing both their songs. But it adds more to the essence of it. It adds more to your personal presentation in the battle when the crowd is saying your part. You know, and you just stick the mic out on certain lines, because us watching at home, we look at that as participation. You know, Kane more so finished his lines out, or he may have, hey, he had DJ Scratch may have been saying the last line with him. I would have liked to seen Kane more let the crowd drop the beat and let the crowd finish his lines out too. It would have more of an impact. Now on the flip side, to Kane's advantage, I think that his delivery of his lyrics, his execution of his lyrics was a little sharper than KRS-One's was that night, last night. Kane was delivering his vocals, and in the songs that he sung, of his hit songs, he spit them in a more familiar way, a way that was more closer to the record, but he was still spitting it live. KRS-One wasn't really spitting the songs the way we hear them on the record. Now some people say, well, yeah, he's rapping live, he's rapping live. I get that. You're gonna change it up when you're going live. We all do it. But I would have liked to hear him stay closer to the original sound. He was more, you know, little choppy at times, you know, a little louder, and wasn't on the regular flow pattern that the original song was. I think I would have liked to seen Chris do that, because he is one of, if not the greatest live performing rapper ever. You know, I've been to KRS-One shows, and one time I saw KRS-One like, I'm not even coming out until y'all get this sound right, because he understood the significance of having the sound. So that were two points that I saw that both guys could have did. They also, you know, they did a tribute to just hip hop in general, man. When they brought out the break dancers and the guys coming out popping and ticking and breaking, man. You know, that was a great tribute to the art form itself. All of the elements of hip hop were present, you know, in that one night outside of graffiti art. So it was a beautiful thing, man. I loved it, and they took little shots at each other throughout the battle. You know, KRS came right out the gate, because Kane didn't come straight out when they announced him. Chris said, nah, ain't no technical difficulties. He in the dressing room hiding. So, you know, and Kane took his shots back at Chris as well. Kane spit a lot of freestyles that were not songs that he had on record, or songs we were familiar with, but they was dope freestyles. They were dope, and I won't call them freestyle. They went off the top, but they were just lyrical displays. KRS did some off the top stuff, so it was a good contrast, a good mix, man. And both of those guys really demonstrated why they are two of the greatest of all time, and even in their 50s, still getting up on stage and being a great example to the younger generation on how it's supposed to be done, you know. And then when it was all said and done, it was all love. It was all love. They talked about their history, 35 years plus, man. I mean, it was a great thing for the art form. And another thing I didn't do, I think I said this already, but I didn't count the rounds where they brought the guests out. It was good to see Nice and Smooth, good to see DOS Effects out there, man. It was a beautiful thing. Good to see Craig G and Master Ace. It was just a dope battle, man. It was dope to me, man. Anybody who had an issue with it, I just don't think you love hip hop. And from what I saw in the comments, the determination of who won seemed pretty balanced to me. You know, I ain't going into my pick. I judged it like, I scored it like a boxing match, round for round. But in the end, man, you know, there were no losers, and the winners, the real winners, was us, the fans, and us, the supporters, man. So hope y'all enjoyed my little assessment of it, man. Hope to see more from the old school in these battles. I heard them say they're going to do a tour like this. Hope to see that coming, because I'll be right there front and center. But it's your big brother, K-Rino. Y'all leave y'all comments below if y'all watched it. Tell me what you think. If you didn't, go watch it, man. Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, two of the GOATs. Double salute to both of the OGs, man. Peace.